Good morning, guys. My camera's always about to die, but that's okay. I didn't realize how much I would actually love doing these videos. I feel like I've just found out what works for me, and that's perfect because what we're going to be talking about today are a couple of things. First, we need to get into my outfit. This tracksuit or jumpsuit is from Alaska Air. I went on a brand trip with them earlier this year, and they sent me this with some Sumptin coffee. 10 out of 10. This is a very, very comfy tracksuit, and I love working from home in these because they're just so cozy and comfortable. My glasses are from Warby Parker, and that's it. Anyway, it's cute and casual today. I made myself a really good coffee. My fiance went and bought an actual like proper French press machine. The one that we have been using is like really tiny because it's supposed to be for tea. And like, you're gonna see like there's this orange illumination on my skin because of the fires that are happening right now in LA. But sorry, going back to this, I made a good coffee this morning. I'm gonna adjust the lighting a bit. I don't think it makes sense to like sit directly in the sun. This is so much better. Look at that. Now you can see me like as a regular person. Today, I'm gonna be answering some questions that I've gotten in some videos, specifically about like my law school journey, kind of what's happening with that. And then also got some questions about time management and how I personally manage my time. And I also want to talk to you guys a little bit about coping with rejection, because starting at the top of the list of things we're talking about today, I got rejected from the University of Albany. That is one of the schools that I did apply to. They had an online hybrid program, which I was actually looking forward to possibly being admitted, but that's okay. When I got the rejection, I got it like 2 or 3 days ago. It came in my email and they were like, your application has been denied. I was like, that felt quick, but I know that they don't have a lot of open positions for their online program, so I'm totally fine with it. And when it happened initially, I was like, okay. I didn't spend too much time thinking about it. I didn't spend too much time bothering myself or getting in my head about it, because it is what it is and there's nothing I can change about their decision. And all that means to me is that I'm meant to be redirected somewhere else. God doesn't want me going to that school for some intended purpose, and I'm okay with that. Which brings me to my next point, because I'm not even gonna harp on it that much because I didn't spend that much time on it in real life, so I'm not gonna do it in this video. I genuinely believe that when you don't get something, you're not meant to have it, and you're supposed to be redirected on a different journey, either to build character, to build resilience, to build zeal, whatever arc needs to be developed in the story of your life internally. I genuinely believe that. I believe that you're supposed to go in different directions when something is not given to you. When I applied for my MPH program, I got into Charles University, HBCU. It's not like some big reputable school like USC or Harvard or Yale or anything like that, but I was meant to go to that program. And I tell people in all the videos that I've made prior that my MPH program single-handedly altered my brain chemistry and changed my life. I had more empathy. I was more understanding. I felt like my eyes had officially been open to the ways of the world and the impacts and just the political system and how decisions are made that impact the general public. And I was meant to go to that school. I was meant to go there. So not getting into UAlbany, I kind of just thinking to myself, okay, obviously I'm meant to go somewhere else. And this is the thing, guys. This is the real thing that I want to say. If I don't get into law school this time around, I believe that I'm not meant to go. That's all that means to me. I'm not meant to go at this time. And maybe I try next year. But hey, we're not even gonna spend too much time thinking about the negativity and the pessimism, because you know how much time I have before those applications, and I still have 6 schools I need to hear from. So we're gonna wait to hear from those schools and assess what the meaning of those other decisions are when they come. Just wanted to start that video off with you guys to tell you that rejection just means that you're being redirected where you are meant to be. It doesn't mean anything other than that. I don't even like to use the word rejection. It's not in my chemistry. It's not in my DNA. I can't be rejected from something I was never meant to have. Whoa, just saying. Personally, that's how I feel. So, the other thing I want to talk about with you guys is time management. And I said it kind of goes perfectly with the start of this video where I was saying like, I love doing these coffee chat videos with you guys. I just love it. It's the perfect format for me to be consistent. So I wake up in the morning and I make myself a cup of coffee. I normally start my day between 5:30 in the morning and like 6:45. So I'll make my coffee, do my initial meetings, and then I'll come I'm already in this room for most of the day because it's my office. I will set up the camera, which is a very simple, easy setup. I have a list of coffee chat ideas on my phone. that I keep running, or I just add to, like when I'm having conversations with my fiance and my friends, and or I see comments that you guys have, I'll make a list and I'm like, okay, these are the things I'm going to talk about in this coffee chat. Let's go. 15 minutes out of my day. That is how I manage my time. I have a strict schedule and a system that works for my ability to process information. This person specifically asked a comment about like working and studying and maintaining like a social life. When I was in grad school, I worked full time. A lot of you guys know about that already. I worked at a pharmaceutical company in regulatory affairs, and I was getting my master's in public health full time. The way my classes were set up, where I had to go to class from 6 to 9 p.m. So my schedule was very strict. I would wake up in the morning, I would go to work. When I worked in Thousand Oaks at Amgen, I had to drive 3 hours to work at one point in time, but I would wake up, I would drive to work, I would work from 7 to 3. I would get in the car, sit in traffic for 3 hours, and drive to class and stay in class from 6 to 9. After class, I would drive home about 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and I would do homework from like 10 to 12. And from maybe midnight to like 1 a.m., I would do any additional stuff that I wanted to do for this YouTube channel or Career Savage, my website. Like I was actually still doing people's resumes, and sometimes I just couldn't do it. So I would just crash at midnight and then wake up and do it all over again. And then I would get to the weekend, and that's when I would hang out with my friends. That's when I would work on Career Savage stuff. That's when I would sit and batch film like 10 to 15 YouTube videos, edit them myself throughout the weekend. I would spend one day filming, one day editing, schedule all those videos throughout that month or throughout that week. And that's how I was able to be consistent online and also maintain a social life. And then I would hang out with my friends like Friday after class, even if I was exhausted, I was tired. Is that sustainable? No, but school is not forever. You graduate. So, it's only a momentary piece of sacrifice. So for me, going back to law school, how am I going to work a full-time job, be a wife, have friends, and, all the things. I'm also planning a wedding, a strict schedule, and understanding in my mind that this is a momentary sacrifice. It's not going to be like this for the rest of my life. I'm not going to be planning a wedding forever. I'm not going to be in law school forever. So what's going to end up happening is that's why I want to go to an online law school program, because most of the classes are similar to my MPH program where they're in the evening. Or because I make my own work schedule anyway, and my job is extremely understanding of me wanting to go back to school and very supportive, they already know that it's going to work with my school schedule. That's partially why I can't go to an in-person program, because I still have commitments professionally. So I will wake up in the morning, as I do, at 5:30. I will sit and do a coffee chat video from 5:30 a.m. to 6, or from 7 to 7:30. Whenever I have a 30-minute break from my work schedule, I will complete my work activities, and then I will go to class after. And when class ends at 9 or whatever, I'll read from 9 to midnight. And I'll wake up and I'll do it all over again. And I will reserve the weekends for recouping, for adjusting, for sleeping, for spending time with my loved ones, for creating content, for TikTok, if TikTok's still around by then, Instagram, taking photos, things of that nature. So you just have to find a system. If you want to balance everything in the world, you have to find a system that works for you and only take on what you're capable of doing. If you're not capable of, for me, by this time I'll already be like married and all that stuff. So and my partner is very supportive as well. And we spend time with each other in the evenings. And even if I'm tired, I still have to make that effort. So I think you just have to make a schedule that works for you. My schedule has worked for me. I did all of this in undergrad. I did all of this in my master's program. I feel like it's going to be pretty seamless to study and work. I might have to drop a few things. Like I go to a lot of social media events Of course, my camera died, so I had to charge it and then come back. But what I was saying, y'all, was I go to a lot of events as a social media content creator, and also because I live in LA, so it's super accessible. Those are things that I might have to go to less of because I have class. And normally the events are in the evening, but if I'm using my evening times to go to class and study, those are some things that I'm just not going to be able to partake in. I don't think I'll have class every single day. Normally it's like 3 to 4 days a week. So I'll probably have like Thursday. Every other Thursday will probably be used to hang out with friends and stay connected with people. But the other Thursdays will be used to study, and do also other like job assignments as well. I think what's really great about working and going to school is it makes it that much easier for you to retain the knowledge, because if you're putting what you're learning into practice, it's, for me at least, it's just that much easier to retain it. So that is how I plan to manage my time. Some general tips for you to manage your time. I've already said it so many times in this video, but it's creating a schedule that works for you. I could give you my schedule and that could still be something that's not tangible for you. Maybe you're someone who reads better in the morning. So instead of making a video, such as I'm doing with my coffee chat videos, maybe instead what you do is you wake up in the morning and you study, and then you go to work, and then you go to class, and in the evening time, that's when you hang out with people or spend time with friends and family. That's another way to balance your schedule. And it's not going to be like hanging out with every single friend in one day, but it's going to be like hanging out with one person. If you're in a relationship or you're engaged or you're married, that will probably be the time that you spend with your spouse, especially because they're in the house as well. I think a lot of time management that people just don't want to accept comes from willing to like make sacrifices, and also understanding that you're going to disappoint some people. I accepted that a long time ago, that there's some people who are going to be upset with the fact that I'm always busy, feel like I'm not as reliable, and it's momentary, but that momentary adjustment might be easier for some people in your life and might be harder for others. It kind of just depends. So making your schedule that works for you, and also just understanding that you will have to make certain sacrifices. Sometimes that sacrifices your sleep. Now, I do suggest getting enough sleep so that you're productive in doing all of these things, and that's likely what a lot of your weekends are going to be for, but just remember that it's not something that's going to last forever. I've talked before that I have an iPad. My iPad is my world, okay? I get brain dumps in there. I write my brain dumps at the end of each month or the start of the month, and I will categorize what I want to do and when things are due in like a calendar. So it'll be like all 30 days. And if I take my brain dump, I'm like, okay, this needs to be done by this date. This needs to be done by that date. And then I'll categorize it through the day. And I also like to do end of the week brain dumps on Sunday because things are always being added to my mind. It's constantly racing, but it helps me stay organized and accountable and complete the things that I need to get done. I also think allocating certain things that you don't need to do to other people is very important. I don't edit my videos. I cannot. And I can admit that. I cannot do it. I don't have the time. I wouldn't be able to be consistent. It's not possible. Luckily, I have the ability to pay someone to edit the videos for me, but that's something that I had to finally learn, that like, this is just something that you're not capable of doing. You need to hire somebody else to do it. If you have kids or you are, again, married, whatever, maybe you hire someone to meal prep for you for the week so you and your spouse have something to eat. Or maybe you hire a housekeeper. And again, maybe you eat out less because you're paying for your housekeeper. There's ways to balance all of these things. It's just learning and accepting what you can do, what you're not capable of doing, and getting the right help for those things. Like sometimes your friends will help you too. If you just tell them, hey, like I'm having a really hard time managing my time. Like I need a week of catch up. Can you watch my kids for a week? Or I don't know, maybe your parents or your siblings will watch your kids. But if you trust your friends to watch your kids, then obviously like they can watch your kid for the week if you're comfortable with that. These are just examples I'm giving, and I don't have children, so I'm just saying things in the hopes that it'll actually help you understand where I'm coming from and how to manage your time. And sometimes that means asking people in your life for help. If you have been wanting to get your car washed, tell your friend like, hey, can you get my car washed for me? These are things that I could ask my friends to do for me, and they would. And I think that it's important to also recognize, and this is something that I learned in 2024, it's important to ask people for help. If you're going back to school, you're working, going to school, trying to maintain friendships, like you have to be open and vulnerable with the people around you to let them know what you're capable of and what you aren't capable of, so that other people in your life can speak up and step up for you so you don't feel like you're drowning. We don't go through this life alone, and you shouldn't feel like you're going through this life alone. Managing your own schedule when you're trying to achieve a lot of things and goals requires a community of people to help you through it. That's why when people achieve things like they get their Golden Globe or their Emmy or whatever, they get a promotion at work, the first thing they think most of the time are like their friends and family, God, the people around them for supporting them, because achieving what you're trying to achieve by going to school and working and doing a million things at once is very hard. So having a schedule, making sacrifices, being vulnerable with the people around you so they can help and support you, and also admitting to yourself what you can't do are the 4 major keys, in my opinion, to managing your time well. Well, I think that's it. I think we covered a lot. We covered rejection. We covered me getting my new French press. We covered me getting denied from UAlbany, and we covered how to manage your time. So per usual, I really loved having this moment with you guys. My coffee's over there, and I actually have to go back to work now, but I hope you'll put some more time on my calendar because this was great. Leave comments down below for any questions that you want answered. Love you guys. Bye.